I don't know if you ever had a bicycle as a child. I think most of us did. I had mine until I was in my early teens and then it was given away. I never realised how much I missed it. As I cycled through the wind in my face and my hair, I took all sorts of risky turns and twists. Whilst living in London, I picked up a pricey vintage bike. I had a lot of spare change back then. And she was a beautiful bicycle, complete steel, jet black, and of course with a basket. She was an upright bike. I'd always liked the upright bicycles, but then I'm a leisure rider and a romantic at heart. I'm not one for speed now. I like to look around, take my time, think of characters and plots, get ideas, and most importantly, daydream. However, getting a bike in London, although great, had its risks. 2 attempted thefts and 1 near accident meant that I resorted to riding her in parks. But that was no fun. Just going round and round in a boring circle. She was quickly sold to an enthusiastic young woman, and that was quite a few years back. The good thing about adulthood is you have the option to reassess your life, your options, and ultimately your decisions. I'd wanted a bike again for so long, but the chances never came, and I found myself driving. When I lived in the south of England, I was running 2, sometimes 3 vehicles at the same time. Cycling was just not an option. There were 3 things I loved more than anything as a child. Books and writing, they come under one category. Dogs and cycling. However, it's so easy as an adult to push all interest to the back of your mind, in the spirit of paying bills, making a living, or growing up. Coming to Zagreb has been an eye-opener as to how much I miss cycling. There are bicycles everywhere, on pavements, on the roads, and lots of cycle shops as well. One evening I started browsing used cycles. You see, I'm quite a distance out of town, and I wanted to be able to get around without the inconvenience of public transport. One motto I'm always trying to live by is to live as an adult the way I did as a child, to return to those ways and hobbies that I thought were so simple and childish, but I now realise were important to my survival. So, I bought a bicycle. I do know the older the bicycle, the simpler it tends to be. It's pretty hard for anything to go wrong with vintage. However, I've always loved anything old, as they always have a timeless, simple elegance to them. A lot of the more modern bikes look like machines. And after a few days of searching, I found what I considered to be a fairly cheap deal. I love the look of it, and she had a nice elegant frame and large tyres. I've always had a thing for large tyres. I'm no mechanical expert, as every bike I'd ever been given or purchased was brand new, even the vintage style bikes. She is very sensitive and extremely light to carry. The question now is if she will support the dogs and myself once we all get on. I took her to a local bike shop, and the experts there looked fairly amused by the state of her. But I wasn't perturbed, and I wasn't put off. People tend to mock what's old and used, but I just believe they tell a story. However, the shops were a big help. Got me a new saddle, because the saddle was very uncomfortable, handlebars, bar grips, and of course, tyres, because her tyres were very old, cracked and perished. I'm still trying to figure out what works in terms of the saddle height and the brakes. I appear tall in person, but I'm actually very short. But with a bit of tweaking here and there, she'll be very comfortable very soon. For now, I'm practicing daily as I'm still a bit wobbly on her and riding in a different country with different styles. So I'm taking it easy and very slow, but in a few days, it'll be just like old times and I'll be returned to my childhood and it'll be amazing.